Hello, John Crotts, attorney and elder law specialist at King Law, coming to you again today to discuss protecting your parents' assets from nursing home costs or protecting your own assets from nursing home costs, whichever the case may be. I'm going to give you some statistics today and touch on a few of the strategies that may be available to assist with long-term care planning. Um, but the primary takeaways are the following. Nursing home care costs have risen over time, with many older Americans who require long-term care being unable to afford it. Um, with proper planning, seniors may be able to rely on Medicaid to pay for this care and still retain some of their assets by exploring some of the different strategies. Um, so with the aging U.S. population, that means many people will likely need nursing home care in the coming decades. Um, and I talk to clients, and you can tell some of them are like convinced that that's not going to be them. They're never going to need long-term care, or there's no way I'm ever going into a nursing home, or we're never going to allow mom, dad, grandma to go into a nursing home. And sometimes I have to give people a reality check that that is not only a possibility, but a probability with each year that goes by. So it's helpful and wise uh, to open up to that reality. With the exorbitant cost of nursing home care, many families worry about depleting their loved ones' life savings to pay for the care that they need. Private health insurance does not cover long-term care. And while long-term care insurance is available to cover nursing home costs, these plans are also expensive and may come up short for long-term care stays. And we did a prior video on long-term care insurance. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, I encourage you to go back and look at that video. But this leaves Americans who are reliant on Medicaid to pay for their nursing home care with a far from perfect solution that usually involves spending down assets to qualify for Medicaid. With proactive Medicaid planning, however, it is possible for someone to qualify for Medicaid and still retain some of their assets. So the sooner you or your loved one starts planning, the more options you'll have for protecting your assets or your parents' assets from nursing home costs. But you've got to keep in mind, again, that the odds of needing long-term care are high. So let me throw some statistics at you. The lifetime likelihood of needing nursing home care is relatively high. About 70% of people who turn 65 today will eventually need some type of long-term care, including nursing home care. About 1.3 million Americans age 65 and older currently live in nursing homes, and about 40% of today's 65-year-olds will spend some time in a nursing home before the end of their lives. So it is a real threat to be considered. Women are more likely than men to need long-term care, and the older a person gets, the more likely they are to need it. At the same time, there's been a growing trend of younger adults, those who are under age 65, who are living in nursing homes, in part due to Medicaid eligibility expansion under the Affordable Care Act. After age 65, more than a quarter of adults receive at least 90 days of nursing home care. Medicaid typically pays for 100% of nursing home costs and may be the only insurance option available for long-term care stays if you're eligible. The average stay in a nursing home care is 1 year and 4 months. And the average stay of that period of time could end up costing upwards of $150,000 today. But I've been doing this for 20 years, and I can tell you it goes up every year. And in this inflationary environment we're currently in, it's only going to continue to go up. It's hard to save enough to cover that if that's your strategy. So that gets us to a few Medicaid planning strategies, and we can go more in depth on some of these later on. But and I've done videos on Medicaid requirements in the past too. Single individuals can have no more than $2,000 and be Medicaid eligible. Not all of a person's assets count against that limit. A home, for example, is typically exempt. A vehicle is exempt. Your tangible personal belongings and household furnishings are exempt. So there's some things that you can hang on to. But there are other strategies to consider, but you have to navigate this tricky 5-year look back where past asset transfers are scrutinized to ensure that applicants don't give away assets in an effort to qualify for Medicaid. Some of the types of strategies that we discuss are Medicaid compliant annuities. These are good strategies for crisis planning cases where an individual or whether it's a single individual or a married couple, someone's going into a nursing home at this moment, or we expect that to happen rather quickly. A Medicaid compliant annuity gives some options to save some of the assets that are available by creating a stream of income for the Medicaid recipient. There are also Medicaid Asset Protection Trusts. These are complicated vehicles, but they are a good way to earmark a certain amount of money or some of your assets that you can put into a trust. However, you do still have to navigate this 5-year look back when you are creating and funding a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. Promissory notes are another method in which one can lend money to another individual, potentially a family member, and create a stream of income where that individual is paying back money. So you're through, whether it's an annuity or a promissory note, getting an asset, getting something out of the asset column and creating income instead, because Medicaid does evaluate both income and assets. Life estates in real estate is another way that you can try to navigate around Medicaid. In North Carolina, we often do something called a ladybird deed, and I'll do additional videos on ladybird deeds down the road, but this is a way to protect the house, the primary residence for Medicaid eligibility, and a way to do that without violating the 5-year look back. Some other strategies that we recommend from time to time: paying off debts, making necessary home repairs, purchasing a new car, prepaying funeral expenses, or taking a family vacation. All good ways to spend out assets and get an actual benefit. Gifting assets to a loved one outside of the look back period is, of course, a strategy if you have a crystal ball, but careful not to violate that 5-year look back. If only one spouse needs nursing home care, Medicaid allows the other spouse, what is considered the community spouse, to retain a certain amount of income and assets. So as you can see, there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to Medicaid planning and long-term care planning. Meeting with an experienced elder law attorney who can evaluate your situation and give you some customized strategies is highly advisable in this environment the older you get. So if you or a loved one are approaching retirement age or experiencing health problems such that you believe you need to have a conversation with an elder law attorney on how to prepare for this, the sooner the better. The more proactive you can be, the better. Give us a call at King Law or visit our website for more information, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks.